This particular blog was really interesting because that phrase, how far is too far, is a difficult one for some organizations. Yes, we want there to be innovation, but we don't want people to go beyond here, right? Here's the boundaries. That's a viable reality. First thing I would recommend is don't apologize for that. If you know how far is too far in general, then offer that to staff. Offer that to management and supervisors, because if they fall off that cliff, it won't be good. You ought to be able to look to things like your mission and your values to really help dictate what too far looks like. So what you want to do is really sit and set, what are those general boundaries? What do they look like? Yes, people can be creative about all sorts of things, but if people are putting time into product or process or service that really don't speak to the kind of offering the organization has, is it really wise for them to do so? We have heard this example about, 3M and giving people creative time, and in that Post-it notes, happened. That's all wonderful. Knowing though that what they were already producing could be used for that was an easier transition than to come up with something completely outside of anything the organization offers and expect the company to sort of rise to the occasion and support you, individual employee, in that creativity. So knowing how far is too far can be really helpful, both from a process standpoint, but also from a values standpoint. That's not who we are. We don't want to get into that world. It doesn't speak to integrity as we've defined it, or it doesn't speak to transparency as we've defined it. Let people know that. This way they can see how much of the yard they really have to play in. And quite frankly, there'll be a lot of yard. There ought to be a lot of yard that people can play in. So start with your values, start with your mission. That'll help you sort of create what those boundaries are to know how far is too far. I'm John Baldino, president of Humoriso.